See, and that's what we needed to hear. Here we are on the webinar of the after show afterthoughts, and here we are with Carmen Mathis. I have my audio guest. There's Mamie Duncan Gibbs, and we have been talking for quite a while, not realizing that we had not been recording some of this, but now Carmen is going to recap some of her journey as I asked her from before. We're going to, really listen the journey that got you were teaching, and then that got you into the show business and into television, and since when you started way back then, and how you mesmerize people to be on your show.
Okay, so I was teaching for a few years in Harlem, dance and 7th and 8th grade math, and decided by the time I got ready to pay my loans off, my national defense loans, you had to teach 7 years. So it was time. And so I started auditioning. And, in each of all the positions I've done, I've had to recreate myself. So I lost all my friend teachers. All my teachers who were friend practically, I lost them. They were not my friends anymore because she wants to call herself an Dora, and so I started with that. And that's because of the vision that I had when I was 10. So this was a natural progression. So I was 10 and now I've gone to school. I've gotten myself, I live in New York City, I've taught, and now it's time to do that. My first job was at Theater for the New City. And Theater for the New City, in the Summer Street Theater, I had to sing and dance. Crystal Field loved me, but she told me at that time that I was going to be a director. I didn't believe her. I didn't know what even though I had directed when I was 12. But anyway, I did eventually become a director. And I joined the Silvera Writers Workshop. I directed readings there. I was in a program in New Jersey and I directed those readings as well. So by the time I wrote my one-woman show, I went back to Crystal and she produced it and gave me a Jerome Foundation grant, and did the one-woman show, 30 Years in the Life of Cleopatra Jackson, with a lot of help from people. From there, as I was acting, now I'm an actor, director, and a playwright. I muddled through this, that, and the other. I was also doing background work on television and like that, and just doing any work that I could. And during some of the shows that I was doing, I went on some cable TV shows. I went on cable TV shows to promote it. I had friends who had cable TV shows. Huh? And I went on to do the cable TV shows to promote those shows. And there they gave me a packet, how to become a producer at Manhattan Neighborhood Network. And eventually, a few years later, is how I took the classes to produce the shows in camera and like that. And so I did that. Turns out that, I had an aptitude for it. And so I did that. The formula for the Carmen Mathis show was already implanted in my head from when I was 10. So now I have a platform to do it. But unlike most of the people there, they were just learning the classes. I already had a plan. I already had an idea for the show. And so the show was just to get people, I used people that I knew and I met in my daily life, whether I was working on a commercial or working anywhere. I say, do you want to be the show? And they would say, okay. So one show, I did that at a commercial, and that was my first show. I got a girl that I saw in a show who one of the people I directed at Theater for the New City in 2000 had a show. I got somebody from her show to be on it. I got somebody from the commercial I was in to be on it because I knew he could sing and dance. He could sing, and he said yes. And it came from there. So that was in 2010. By the time I applied to be a producer at Manhattan Neighborhood Network, remember, I know hundreds of people, Broadway, off Broadway, background work. I know many, many people. And I would ask these people, would they be on the show to sing and dance? And I guess they were intrigued, and they would all say yes. Now, remember, I had my structure all there together. I had, you got to send me the tape, what we're going to do. I had the format and everything. By the time we would get to tape the show, we're all on the same page. I know who you are, you know who I am, and how I'm going to do it. And so that was the journey. That's how I did the TV show. And from the TV show, the television show, I expanded that with the wonderful people who were on the show. I formed Cassia Arts Inc. There it is behind me. This way.
Yes.
Cassia Arts Inc. Is a 501c3 that produces the Carmen Mathis Show. And
How about the origin of the name? What's the origin of the name?
Okay, the origin of the name Cassia. CA is Carmen Anita. Anita is my middle name. SE is Sharon Elaine. That's my sister. She came up with this. And A is Amanda, my mother. So she instantly came up with this name, Cassia, C-A-S-E-A. And my mother's name is Casey, back there in Georgia. So it just worked. So Cassia Arts is the origin of the name. Both of them have passed, but she was on the board of directors when I got the 501c3 from IRS. And I got that with help from a musician who was on the show, Dr. John Manan, who had a Jazz Renaissance 2.0. He's the one who said, why don't you do this? I can help you. He's a lawyer. He says, I've done 20 or 30 of them. I can help you. And we would meet in the Dunkin' Donuts with all these papers at the Dunkin' Donuts on a Sunday. Trust me. I mean, really. And I fill it out and go what he suggested. By the time I sent in for it, I got it on the first take. I had pictures from the show to prove, I had all kinds of people on the show with the backdrops, and they gave it to me on the first take and just only asked me what was my criteria for letting people on the show. I said they just have to be good and be committed to their craft. And yes, a committee will decide that, but it's what I felt in my heart for the people. And that was that. So by having the 501c3, now I can apply for grants. I applied for some grants, and one was Borough of Manhattan President's Office, and you didn't have to do anything or put on any show. They were just giving you seed money. I bought my camera from those grants. They gave me grants 2 years. And then I applied for the biggie, Lower Manhattan Cultural Council, and they gave me, and the Department of Cultural Affairs. So those were the ones that gave me the grant starting in 2020, 2021, and 2022. So I've done 3 shows from those grants, and waiting to hear if you are going to fund my next one. If they do, that show will be in June
of 2023.
Yes.
Okay.
June 12th in Marcus Garvey Park. That's what I wrote the grant for. And that's where we have our celebrity guest artists. So you would be one, and there are a couple of the Broadway people that I want on the show. What can they do? They can say yes or no. And I don't hear no. No means,
so
when are you available? So yeah, the next one I'm anticipating is June, Marcus Garvey Park of 2023. Yeah. The name of that one would be the 3rd annual music extravaganza, Walking in Rhythm.
Well, I can tell you this. First of all, I want to thank you for your patience. I want to thank you for recapping, because I want to tell you, everybody, we were on here, we were talking, and it was my fault that I didn't push the recording button. And then she so graciously came and recapped. Mamie, is there a question that you need to ask? Because I want your voice to be on here too.
No, I'm good. I'm just sitting here intrigued. This is so wonderful.
Okay. All right.
So
Well,
wonderful.
I want to thank you so much, both of you ladies. I want to thank you, Carmen. Really. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you for sharing. I look forward to the next 10 years.
Okay.
Seeing you having you come back and talk some more about it, tell me what else you're going to be doing, what visions you're going to have. Because I don't think the visions stop just when you were little. I think the visions keep happening. You know,
I had one at 10 and one big one at 19. I've actually had a vision last year, as a matter of fact. I'm not going to share that one, but I had another vision.
But they come. You know,
and it has something to do with the music extravaganzas. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, all right, my dear. I'm going to end this recording. Stay on for 1 second. I thank you, everyone. I want to say thank you, everyone, for always tuning into the After Show Afterthoughts. Next week, I haven't really been talking a lot about it, but I've been directing 2 plays for my 501c, Essence of Acting, and we're doing a benefit next week.
Oh, nice.
So, you know, you'll see the poster up. You won't see me like you'll usually see me. I'll be in a different kind of mode than I'll be in the director's mode. And so you'll see, again, we'll be back March 8th, but March 1st, you will see something for Essence of Acting. So Mamie, I want you to know that even though we don't have, I do a boot camp, I call it, with Miss Mamie Duncan Gibbs. And even though we have Sunday off, I never have a day off until after March 13th. I have rehearsals on the weekend.
Wow.
So I want to thank you. I want to thank you for building up my stamina so I can keep on going through.
Right. Now we have to get Carmen in the class.
Yes. Oh,
okay.
Carmen. Oh, you would love it. You would love it. Okay. All right. So thank you, everyone. I'm going to end this now. And thank you. And I'll see you on March 8th, everyone, for the After Show Afterthought. But I'll see you next week when you come and see the benefit, these 2 wonderful new plays.
Okay, good.
Bye-bye now.
Bye. Bye, everybody. Thank you. Bye, Mamie.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. Wait a minute. And